morning, good evening. Episode 23 today. We are going to be talking about Nebula. So, last episode 22 and episode 21, we talked mostly about star spheres, how to have stars in the background for our space scenes. But Nebula give a touch more, realism, and it makes the star scene much more beautiful. So let's start with creating Nebula. Okay, let me fire up Lightwave then, and let me change that so that you will also be seeing what I'm doing correctly. Yes. So in modular, let's start in modular. We are going also to, I'm going to be creating a very fast star sphere. Last time I forgot to disclose a detail, so let's start doing a sphere first. We are choosing Tessellation and then level 4, and then here let's say 50 megameters. Okay, 50 megameters, 50 megameters. So this is going to be my sphere. So I'm killing all polygons again. Okay, and now the rule here is I forgot to tell you about it. The rule is that the brightest stars are going to be the fewest. So first we start by as before. Let's enhance this view here. So let's do that again. If you remember, if you can recall from last episode, we are doing a checkerboard selection of our particles. There. Oh no, why? Yes, because I'm in polygon, and then I have to, yes, practice makes best. Point to polys. Now I'm going. Yeah, now I have some polygons. Okay, so again, anyway, there. I am copying them, pasting them into layer 2. Okay, now on layer 2, I am going to repeat the process, but on another viewport. On another viewport. Here, one there. There. And there. Okay, I chose 665, and I am cutting them layer 3. So now I have 1200 here. Okay, these stars are actually too few, but anyway, we will be doing that, and we can copy them later. Now I have 1200. On the second I have 600. On the third I'm gonna be having the half of them. No, actually, why? Let's do it again. Yeah, I know why. There I am. 600 of them, and cut and paste here. So now this is 1200, this is 600, and this is 600 again. Yeah, because I cut them. Yes, exactly. 1200, 600. These are going to be to become 300 because I'm going to be choosing them, selecting them again, etc. There. Okay, then cut for paste. So I have 1200, 600, 300, and this is going to be chosen again, selected again. Oh wait, there. Yeah, anyway, there, copy, 5, 5, paste, and then finally we can select this view here, and we can repeat the process. There. Okay, cut, 6, paste, and now we have 6 has 121, 5 has 76, and 4 has 154. So now it's a good idea that this layer that has a 76 is going to be, let me correct that, and cut 5 and put them in order so that the less there, the less the stars, the more the brightest. So I want to have it in order. So here I have 121 and here I have 76. So now that here I have 1200, so let's do, say, stars 1. This is going to be the lowest, the dimmest of stars. Okay, so it's going to be 50. Second one is going to be stars 2 and 100. There, 150, 12. So here now it's going to be stars 3, 125, 135. Okay, 135. And 4, stars 4, 106, 170, 170, 200 and 250. Yes, exactly. Now this is going to be stars 5, which is going to be 200, and the last one is going to be 255. So stars 6, 255, and for all. Okay, now that we have defined our surfaces, it's time to cut them all back to the first layer. There. Okay, now I have my star sphere. Let's save that. Webcast episode 23, and objects, and stay star sphere small. Oh, yeah, anyway, star sphere small. Okay, so now I am taking that again. I am copying it this time and pasting that to this layer here. And let me see, sorry, I'm choosing the rotate tool, rotating that, and here across the 0 axis. Okay, now I'm doing one more copy and paste, and doing the same for the third layer as well. Okay, now I have created a very nice random, actually I have created a clone of the two clones of the same object, but they are randomly rotated so that they won't, the stars won't fall in the same place. So, okay, X again, going back, and V for pasting. Now I have 7,000 stars to play with. Now is the time where I will be jittering them, okay, because I want them to say range 100 kilometers. Okay, now I'm doing it again. Let's see, is there any, hold on, is there any there? Is there any jitter here to jump points? No. Jitter it's a capital J. So yep. Maybe add 300 kilometers. Maybe do a Gaussian 3 kilometers. There. Let's see what I've done. I'll just zoom in here. So see how strong is the effect. Yeah. One more, 320 kilometers. No, that doesn't do anything actually. It's uniform. Yeah, I have the let's say Gaussian now. Okay, let's see what we did so far. We can twist it again as per last time. There. Twist the object and twist it from that angle as well. There, 0, 0, 0. Let's see that. And a bit here. Let's stir it and shake it. And then jitter it a bit more. Great. Now I think this star sphere is enough to be one of the best made so far by us. Anyway, let's check it out in layout. By the way, let's see. Okay. Let's see now what's going on here. Objects, webcast, and episode 23. Now this is my star sphere small. So let's see what we've done here. So I am resetting my camera position to 0, 0, 0 so that it is inside the inside my star sphere. So and this actually looks pretty good. Now I can either clone it here or copy paste the layers here and make it more dense, but let's choose that. So I'm just copying that, rotating it by 0 there, by the 0 axis, by any axis in 0, 0, 0 in the center there, and copy that into the other there. Twist it a bit more. 0, 0 again. I'm being a little cautious here. Here, there. I think that's enough. So we'll take again the last 2 layers and paste them back to layer 1, and then save that again. Star sphere small, and layout and replace that. Yeah, move these things here. Now, oh, great. A very nice star sphere. So now we are ready to apply our nebula. We have to think about the shape that the nebula is going to have. Okay, so many nebulae, when you are, you know, how science fiction shows them, when you are kind of nearer, you know, they are, you know, they can take over the half of the horizon, and it can be like 120 to 180 degrees. You can of course do create a nebula that will be, you know, the whole circle though, you know. So let's go with 180 degrees. So what we want is our camera, when it is rotating, you know, and, you know, trying to pan or do a movement that will, you know, will have other objects in the background. We want to have say 180 degree coverage of the nebula. So let's get back to modeler, and since I have the star sphere, this is it is a sphere, so it makes sense that the camera is inside a spherical universe. So that will be the shape of my nebula as well. So let's create, sorry. So let's create a what's the name? Sphere, a ball. So let's do a globe this time, and we want a bit of detail now. So let's double all these things here and keep these ready as they are, and see what we made. Yeah, I think this is quite good. So our shape is going to be, say, what we want is, I think this will be, no, this one here. Yep. So I am inverting and deleting all the others. Okay, and then I want to deselect and delete these guys here. Delete. And what I want is, I want the inner area, the inner side of these polygons here to have my nebula on. Okay, so right now I see that this is not the case, so I'll just flip them so that the inside of them is visible. Okay, not the outside. Yes. Okay, I can also see that here. If I choose, if I select the polygons, I can see where is their projection towards where they're looking at. Let's say that. So this is the nebula, the object for the nebula. So one thing to note here, we are going to wrap a cylindrical picture on this object. It is worth noting that Lightwave doesn't have an option in surfaces where you can define where at what degrees the your texture is going to start. So it is important that your 0 degree starting point will be, let's say, southwards. If this is your say, if you're looking the object from the top and you're selecting a y-axis, so this is our 0 degree. This is our starting point where our texture is going to be laid on, to be projected. Okay, so half a circle, 180-degree coverage is going to give us, you know, this object is going to give us. So let's define a surface, call it Nebula, and okay, let's turn on smooth, but we can fix that later, and then save. And let's save my nebula, actually, because I have two nebulas. No, actually, let's overwrite that, so it's not needed. Good evening, Walkero. Welcome. So I have created the object for my nebula. Okay. And let's actually, this is going to fall on some of the stars. So I'll just try to size it a bit, size it down a bit. There, so you saw the nebula will be in front of the stars towards the camera. Okay. Hi, Mid1, welcome. Okay, so this is what I'm pretty satisfied with this object. So going to layout again, and let's load that thing and see what's going on here. Nebula. There. So this is quite big, you know, so if I rotate the camera, it's going to take the whole place, you see? And I can of course adjust that, object, size, and then size it a bit. Not that much. Oh, wait a minute. There's something very wrong going on here. There. That's why. So yeah. Anyway, objects, size. Yeah, this is going to. Yeah, that's because my camera is not in the center. That's why. So let me first we reset our camera, and then we keyframe it. Okay. Now I have my now I have both my objects. I have my star sphere, I have my nebula, and so if I really want to resize it, you know, I just can you know, size it. But in the end, I will have to push it back into the stars. So you can see there a bit of discrepancy here, because if your camera jumps here, it is not going to be able to see that side of your nebula, because you have flipped the polygons inside. So this is not so too recommended, but let's leave that there. Let's leave it there, and then you can define where your image is going to get wrapped. Okay. Or you can of course delete some of the polygons so that you will have, let's say, 120 degrees, 90 degrees coverage, etc. Okay, let's save the scene for the patrons, for you guys to have it. So let's save the scene. This is Nebula 1. Okay, Nebula 1. So now what the camera is seeing is this. So that's not that's not very interesting. So let's go ahead and make our the real thing, you know, the image, our nebula. So I'll be using brilliance, true brilliance, of course, and we will be saving in IFF24. So now it's time to select, to define the resolution. Okay, I have to take into account how long the object is versus how wide. Okay, so usually the analogy is 5:1. So if I have say if I want the thickness to be 512, I want, and it is by times 5, then you have actually, I think it is 3096 on my length. So let's round it down a bit and say 3000 by 600. Okay, so my image is going to be 3000 by 600. So here in Brilliance, I use mostly Brilliance because it has many undo levels, and also it has lots of strange tools that I didn't find in other. Anyway, I didn't look for them pretty hard because I had them here actually. Anyway, so let's say I have our height. Our height is going to be 600. So 600 times 5 is 3000. Yep, 3000 by 600. So that is how large my nebula image is going to be. Okay, so I'm doing use. So now you will see if you navigate the image by using the cursor keys, sorry, you will see that the area is pretty large. So here I'm there. Anyway, another good thing to see here, to see in such big large resolutions, is first you can create a so-called guide. Okay, you create an image with coordinates written on them, or written on it, and then you paste it on your object. You know, you dress your object with these images. For example, I have created a hold on, we are so 3. I've created a nebula guide called so that I have I've divided it into 5 areas that are kind of visible here. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 4 and 5. Okay, so this covers the whole the whole 3000 by 600 resolution. So how that is a useful way to chart your object, your nebula, you know, as we have said before in texturing. So let's say how that looks. Scenes, nebula 1, and see here is my camera. Let's make a motion, by the way. See here, there. So this is my frame 1, and frame 2 is going to be the camera going to the other side here. So this is not frame 2, frame 100. Okay, 100, closing the panel, saving nebula 1. So I have this motion here. Okay, moving and doing that. I can also, if I am doing a there, I can also, you know, unzoom quite a bit so that I will have the whole thing. Now if I ray trace, I will have this. Okay, so I have the star sphere in the back, and then I have my gray nebula. Very uninteresting nebula. Anyway, in the images, I am loading. Wait a minute, sorry. I am loading my guide to see where it is going to, where my texture is going to fall. Neb guide 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then on surfaces, nebula here. Let me illuminate it a bit, and then surface. Hold on, surface color, yeah, 255, luminosity 100, yes, smoothing on. And here I'm going to choose cylindrical image map. I am on the y-axis. I don't want that. I don't want the texture to be repeated. Let me choose the texture and automatic sizing. But that's not all when you size that, because your nebula is not symmetric. That is, if your nebula was 360 degrees round, then automatic sizing would be enough. But since I have my nebula half, and the center of gravity is not in 0, but I want my texture to be in 0, so automatic sizing usually overrides that with something like this, because my x, the center of gravity of the x-axis does not lie in 0, but I'm changing that to 0. Okay. Also, since I don't have a full circle, the width wrap amount would cover my texture from 1 to 5 into one circle. Since my object is a semicircle, I would have from 1 to half 3, to the half of 3 on my object, but I don't want that. So I am increasing that to 2. So the width wrap amount is 2. So if I had a full circle, that texture would be repeated in the rest of the 180 degrees. Okay. Let's see what we done, if I am correct. Luminosity, and let's see. Yeah, and this is correct. Okay. So let's see the beginning, how that looks in the beginning. There. Let's see, frame 21. I have 1, 2, and there, perhaps. Yeah, here. 3, 4, 5, etc. Okay, but there's one little detail. I don't want it to start with 5 here. I want to have 1 here, and the numbers should be looking the correct way towards the camera, towards the center. Okay, so I'm heading back to surfaces, and I have this width wrapped amount here, which works sideways, both ways. So if I add a minus, it will do what I want it to do, which is, putting it in the correct place. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, etc. So now I am ready to place my, let me save all objects as well. Now I'm ready to paint my nebula. So let's quit Lightwave to save some memory. Do you have any questions so far about the geometry and all these things? You actually didn't catch up from the beginning, but if you have any questions, guys, just let me know. Okay, so again, we are defining a texture that is 5 times the width than is the height. Oh, welcome, Yarla. I just saw you now. So there, 3008. Oh, it overwrites to 3008. Actually, yes, is nice. Walalula. Anyway, using that, we can also, I think it would be a nice idea to load load the guide as a stencil, actually. There, images, Nebula guide, there. So now I have a guide because the actual page is 5 times larger than my Amiga screen. So if I don't have a graphics card, this is going to be difficult. But since we are purists and we want to, you know, use only the AGA to paint our Nebula, let's do that. Just with what we have. So some key bindings that are going to be useful. So minus and plus, they increase and decrease the brush. Okay. Minus and plus as well. Anyway, and then you have the brackets that they change, that they cycle. If you can see here, they cycle through the colors. Okay. Anyway, there are quite many colors here. So let's just start painting. You know. I might be using that as a stencil, maybe. Anyway, no, I don't know how that works, but anyway. So let me just start painting, you know. So I'll have here. So let's start with a nice red color here. There. You really have to be quite chaotic. La, 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 la. Anyway, that will go to the other side. Then painting that, you actually have to move. There. So now I'm going to choose a purple here. This is going to be touching that. Etc. And then I want a green here. Some other gases that have exploded and filled the universe. I think that's too bright, but anyway. Perhaps I will compensate with that. So you can do, you know, stuff like this. And you can actually work into other areas as well, you know. Let me see. Let me choose some more. Now this might look a paint of children, but stay with me. It is going to be amazing. Great. Here. And you can go on, you know, not to all the sectors. So let's go back and see what we can do in this here. So now I have to pick the color and put a nice white inside that. There, enough. And let me decrease that there. Put something here, some white is here, there, etc. And here as well, some white, lots of white and going out, la 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 la, you know, there. And let us be quite, I'm feeling dangerous today, so I'll do that again. See what will come up. There. Okay, so let me save that as stage 1. Nebula 1, stage 1. Okay. No, not Hamate. Save as 24-bit. 24-bit RGB. Hamate cannot be loaded by Lightwave. So that you know that. Okay. So back. Now I'm using the cursor keys to move back and forth. And if I want to go faster, I use Shift and the cursor keys. There. Okay. So this nice little button here activates the extra modes. So the extra modes, if you press your right mouse button, are these. And depending on which mode you have line, fill, and airbrush and whatever. Some of these will be activated and some of these will be deactivated. So now I have my draw here, and and almost all are activated. Okay, so I will be using the Darken to darken the my edges. Okay, so I will be doing that there, etc., and do this thing here, make this there. So now you have a darker image. By the way, now it's time to delete these guides here. Anyway, I'll press U, color, and it's time to delete this there. So delete these, and here as well, and here as well, and just a bit here, there. And then we don't need that too either. There, so that they will stay clear from your object. Okay, that doesn't matter, we can delete that, can erase that later. So yes, that's there. And then we can go on and darken. The amount of darken is decided here. So if I do 0, so no darken. So you see there's no cursor here. If I go 100, so the cursor is, it's going to work. It's going to be pretty much evident. So if I continue doing that, so you see there, etc., etc., etc. Okay, so now I want to start playing with that there. Or perhaps I will skip that. I won't. Let me do. We can do an effect. For example, I won't go in detail into the whole image. I'm just showing you an area now. So darken is what we're using now. There. Closing up. There. Oops, sorry. Then space, bringing up the. Now let's make it a bit there. Etc. There, for example. So we are creating extra shades to use when we are going to be actually be mixing them. For example, it now is. I mean, if you're doing this kind of work, it's very useful to have a stylus. When you Wacom or whatever. I have a Wacom here, but it didn't work with UAE. I think it works with WinUAE, but FSUAE I couldn't make it work. But anyway, we can I can do it with the mouse as well. It is actually really nice to have different pressure levels. So I think WinUAE can identify the pressure, although I don't know if Brilliance can support it. Anyway, that doesn't hinder us from creating some very cool Nebula. So yeah, here as well. Actually, this, yeah, there, some cool effects. Now it's starting to get interesting. Smear here is a very nice tool to create stuff, you know. So you start doing these kinds of stuff and it looks amazing. Not yet actually, but yes, it starts looking amazing. So you just use that to smoothen the lines between them. So yeah, there, start doing that, there. You play with the, you play also with the size of your brush. There you can do stuff like this. You can also use, I think that's not too relevant in yeah, can do stuff like that. Anyway, I didn't like that, so you just have to experiment a bit and see, you know, what will come up from that. There. So then you can add some colors. Let's say, let me add some colors here. There, and then smear them again. Don't worry, this will become very, very there and smaller for some detailed work stuff. You just want to blend in all these, you know, all these there, all these shades that are there. You don't want one shade to be evident, so you want some more there. Then you can go on and add, let me take that color here and I see which color this is, and where is that? There. Aha, there. So, and I just need to get something. This is what? Aha, 25500. So I'll just get a darker red. There, this one. And then I can color it a bit, etc. There, and then give some more. Add some more, and then just smear them a bit. Smear, I don't know what's the correct pronunciation. Smear as in fear or smear as in bear. There. And you can use other, you can use brighten, for example, to get some whitish here. There. As in fear, thank you. Smear, and then smear. And then you want it a bit. Mouse doesn't really help, but anyway, yeah. There. There. Smear the naughty. Anyway, let's say I'll do that in the whole image, you know, or you know, I have the time. I can mix. Let's see if mix does. No. Undo mix. The mix effect wants some more. Yeah, you can do wherever your let's say here it is evident that there are three shades. So what you can do is zoom in here and you know, mix that and start mixing these two shades, and then you will have some more shades to play with. No, there, and more there, there. Go back here a bit, etc. But now this is too, anyway, yeah. Anyway, do. Let's say I'm pleased. Let's say I've done that in the whole thing. Let me do a very, very crude. Oh, sorry. No, I wanted to smear them. Smear them. Yeah, there. Wow. Okay, this is gonna be a hell of a nebula. And, you know, anyway. Nope. Anyway, here we are. Now comes a very, very nice touch with the tool called Smooth. Smooth. This tool is very, very nice. Now what it does is smoothens out all the shades into something very, very interesting. So there, see, this looks like, you know, this sucks, but anyway, there. And then you can go on. If you persist, you can create some, let's say I am moving that in the background while I'm not touching the white, so the white is going to be look much more sharp than the foreground. And then you can repeat the processes and you know, create some more interesting effects. Let's say average smear here. No, that's too. You can also, I don't know, the tint. Oh, anyway, that's for another thing. Cycle, you can use cycle. No, you anyway. So let's do a more here. Let's break that a bit. Say something very, really violent cosmic effect has taken place. There. Okay. And let's apply smooth again. There. Smooth. See? Very nice. So let's say I'm content with my design here. Let's leave that as it is, okay? And see how that, hold on a bit, why is this so there? Okay, so let's say I'm quite pleased with my image here. Save as Nebula 1 stage 2. And did I save? Yeah, I did save as 24-bit. So now it's time to redress it on our object. Lightwave, webcast, episode 23, and then scenes, Nebula 1. Okay, this is our Nebula. I'm loading my scene. I'm actually replacing this image with my Nebula 1 stage 2. Oh, okay, see. And let me see here. I can leave the same the same coordinates, the same everything. So my image is going, my nebula is going to start here. Okay. So let's see how that looks. This can look good. So let me do some stuff here. Pixel blending, yes, I can increase the anti-alias strength, and now I can either have it transparent, you know, by creating, you know, by having the image as black white and applying the transparency, or there is this little thing here called additive under luminosity that can actually add the luminosity from the stars behind into our nebula. And by the way, let's fix the stars attributes here quite quickly, very quickly. There, default, and save everything and see how that looks. Nebula, and see how that looks. So yeah, that is how nebulas are born. Okay, of course it needs to be worked, and sometimes actually anti-alias is not good because it keeps all the details. But most of the time you are going to be you know, working with your favorite paint program to create it to create a convincing nebula. And it also it's very it is very useful to have a reference pictures beside, you know, so that you know, you will be able to translate, okay, what effect should I use to create that you know, to create that nebula touch. Yeah, you could do that. The problem is that all the nebula pictures I have seen on the net have they have stars with them, so it could look quite it looks unrealistic because the stars embedded on the photograph are not the same as your star field. So if you truly want a control over how your nebula is going to look, you go towards the DIY method. And of course, if you want, you can create that in GIMP instead, because you have layers. You can have a nebula, and then you have another nebula behind, and you can create lots of other effects. Of course, you can create them here as well, but it takes some more time. You might want have access to Amiga compatible pens, you know, styly, etc. Let me turn that off. Yes. So and a nice example I have here is wait a minute, where did I have that? Yeah, the one I showed you, the one I used to make a really, I'll have to check out that link. A nice, anyway, I have this nice image here. I have the panel. What? No, not this one. Yeah, this one. So I have this very cool I had painted it once upon a time. Wait a minute. Yes, this one here. It's called Nebulous. It's the one I used on the on Twitter to message about the today's episode. So this can go clear object here. So Nebulous is that little guy here. I made that, if I recall correctly, with a hyperpen connected on my Amiga. Or no? No, this was done on GIMP with my Wacom. So you have this really cool. Just let me size that a bit, or no. Anyway, stretch it. There. Yeah, photogenics can work as well. So there, for example, I have this one here, and now you can actually just press additive, and then it will be quite into the front of the stars, you know, and you will be having a very cool, very cool nebula made in your Amiga. There. So that's it. Yeah, that was all I have for today. Can show you there how long it is. This is very long, you know. Yeah, photogenics I haven't really tried to see how it fares. The link you Anthony, welcome. So the link you provided here, that could be very useful in creating, you know, in creating nebulas without having to paint them. Very nice. So you can have backgrounds, and you can have actual nebulas that exist, of course. Another thing that came up now, mid one, is that you can also have your nebula object be behind the stars. So if your stars are quite, you know, if the stars on the picture are quite compatible, you can of course compensate for that. So yeah, it's all up to experimenting, you know, and seeing what's going on there. Great. Yeah, I will save that link and share it with you guys later. Or you can do it, Walker. I don't know, whichever is. And I will be copying the link. Yeah. Anyway, any questions? Was that useful? You know, did you find the, you know, this episode useful, or, you know, was it? Really? Thank you. I think, yeah. Sometimes things are quite, you know, obsolete because we can't work with layers here, but there is potential if, you know, if we know how to work our tools here, you know. Yeah, really. They can, of course. I mean, it depends. I mean, you mean as an animation, or how, or have a still picture of an explosion and make it as a nebula. Yeah, they can, of course. But I personally would sit a couple of days and do my own, just like I did with the presenter. There are some more tools you can if you don't have a stylus, with pressure that can feel the pressure, like a Wacom or and want to buy one, I totally recommend it. It's very useful and very creative, in the sense that you can also program some of the buttons to do quickly, have quickly some stuff done, like undo, or increasing or decreasing the size of your brushes, so that you won't have to move the mouse or the stylus around. What else? And yeah, as I said before, having a reference beside, you can select a portion of the nebula. Oh, I like that, let's see how I do that. And also, don't forget that this image here you can also play with with its alpha channel. Let's do a quick let me show you what I mean. You can take that and you can let me find that image first. Yes, you can find you can change that to black and white, color to gray, say Luma, okay, and make that a bit so that, hold on a bit, maybe it's that, no, wait, I want to, oh, anyway, let's say that's enough. And you can work with this as well, so you can have, now I think there you can work with various tools and tell it, I want it to be more transparent there, and etc. Because additive is a cheap way to create this wanted transparency. So working with alpha channel as well. Yeah. So yeah. So if you don't have any other questions, I can recap. Okay. So again, the resolution, the shape of our nebula is going to determine the shape of our object. Okay, then you can measure how much you want it to have, aim at a high resolution, like 4,000 by a fifth of 4,000, for to 900, for compensating. It really depends on the shape. And then you just have to be creative. You have to know your tools and create nice tools, and create with have a stylus and have nice tools to make your creations. Okay, so that's about for tonight. Thank you guys for being here, and shout out to the patrons: George Shakanos Walkero, thank you. Midwan, thank you. Yarla, thank you. Anthony Jarvis, thank you. GS, thank you. And Todd Chamberlain, thank you guys very much. See you next Monday. Bye bye.